Hello and welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I wanted to do my top 23 books that I read in 2023. I actually read 47 books so far this year. I want to get up to 50, but it's the last week of the year, so who knows if I'm actually going to be able to do that. None of these books are going to be in a particular order, they're just going to be my favourites, but then at the end I am going to do my top 5 of the whole year. So the first two books are Twisted Games and Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I finished off this series. I read Twisted Love back in 2022, and then I started Twisted Games at the end of 2022 and I finished it at the start of this year. But yeah, no, these two books. First of all, Rhys. He is an elite man. He does everything right, in my opinion. He's just so good, he's so sweet, but he's also got that edge to him and I love him. And then Twisted Hate. This book is just my top book of the series. Josh and Jules have the best romance, and I gave both of these 5 stars. I did also read Twisted Lies this year, but it wasn't my favourite. I think I rated that either 3.5 or 4 stars. I think I originally went 3.5, but then I upped it to 4 stars because I felt like my 3.5 was a bit judgy. But yeah, no, it wasn't my favourite. But these two, both 5-star books, I really loved them, and I'm also rereading these next year because I'm doing a book club with my best friend and he wants to read this series. So yeah, we're rereading the Twisted series. Well, I'm rereading the Twisted series. He's reading it for the first time at the start of next year. So the next few books on this list is the Heartstopper comics. These books have such a special place in my heart, and honestly, I've reread comics 1 to 4, I think, God, 4 times? 3 times? And then obviously volume 5 only just came out recently, so I've only read this once, but I'm mostly rereading the entire series in the new year. But yeah, no, I love them all so much. I've reread them so many times, and it's kind of just like a comfort thing. At this point, I will reread all of them over a couple of days, because even though they are comics, they are very thick as well, so obviously I like to take my time and look at the pictures and everything, and yeah, it's just a really comfy, cozy read. And before anyone comes at me saying it's not proper reading, it's comic books, yes it is. If you read the words off the page, it's a book. If you are listening to someone read a word to you and you're listening to it properly, it's a book, like with audiobooks, so don't come at me. So the 8th book on this list is The Roommate by Rosie Danan. I loved this book. I devoured this book. It's the first book that's ever made me physically laugh out loud. It's very hard for me to have a proper emotion to a book. I obviously enjoy it, but when I'm reading, a lot of the time, as you'll see in a lot of my reading sprints that I do in my time lapses and stuff, I've got a very stone set face. I was bursting out laughing with this book constantly because I loved it genuinely so freaking much, and I never wanted it to end. The characters are just funny, they're cute. The 3rd act breakup annoyed me a little bit, but you know, it's a 5-star and I love this damn book, and I want to reread it in the new year because I've got the second one because they're interconnected standalones, and yeah, I want to reread this one in the new year, I think, and then read the second one. So the next 3 books on this list, so book 9 to 11, are the first 3 Harry Potter books. I read these for the first time this year. I've actually read book 4 and 5 as well, but they didn't hit the spot as well as these 3 did. Prisoner of Azkaban is my favourite. I am a Marauders fan, which is probably why I swayed more towards this book, because it's Sirius and Remus. They're amazing. But yeah, no, these 3 books were just really good. I really enjoyed them. I've always been a fan of Harry Potter, but I've gotten really into it in the last few years, hence the Harry Potter shrine that's next to me, and then also the Harry Potter shelf up there, but we ignore. But yeah, no, these aren't actually the copies I read. I have my Hufflepuff special edition hardbacks right here, so I read those, and I did read, I think I read the 4th one and the 5th one on my Kindle because they are on Kindle Unlimited. But these ones are just... I genuinely really enjoyed these books. I like Harry more in these 3 books than I do in the rest of them. And I don't really like Harry and Ron in the movies, but I like them a bit better in the books because in the movies, they just kind of get on my nerves. I'm a Hermione and Draco fan. So, you know, it kind of makes sense that I'm not a big fan of Harry and Ron. Or at least to me it is anyway. So yeah, no, but I really enjoyed these books, and I want to finish the last 2 books in the series next year. So I need to read books 6 and 7 because, like I said, I've read up to book 5 so far this year. Okay, so the next one I don't actually own. I don't have a copy of it or anything because I listened to this on audiobook, because for some Kindle Unlimited books, you can listen to audiobook versions on Audible. So for this one, I listened to it on Audible. It's the first audiobook I ever listened to, and that is Layla by Colleen Hoover. This book is the strangest damn book I have ever freaking read. Like, if you don't want to hear spoilers, skip the next minute of this video. But he eats her hair. Like, he falls in love with this girl who he's just met, and this whole world when romance happens. And I didn't expect the book to turn out how it did. I went into this book completely blind, which is how I go into a lot of Colleen Hoover books. I probably shouldn't do that because I know there's a lot of trigger warnings in them. But every time I've read a Colleen Hoover book, I go into it blindly. But yeah, no, I was not expecting what I got out of this book. And I did say in my 5-star ranking video, I would lower the rating of this one. But as I think about it, I still genuinely really enjoyed the book, even though it's a freaking weird one. So, you know, I might still keep it as a 5-star. Who knows? But yeah, no, it was good. It's just, it's a very, very strange book, and I don't understand it that well. So the next book that we have on this list is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I think this is the 13th book on this list, but these aren't in any particular order. I'm saying the book number because I'm keeping myself on track, to be completely honest. But this book, I'm mad at myself for how long I took to read this, so I want to reread it in the new year because I want to annotate it, if I'm being completely honest. The reason it took me so long to read is because I tried annotating it when I first read it, and I'm slowly realising I can't annotate when I'm first reading a book. I have to do it on a reread. Because my first run through, I think it stressed me out trying to annotate as I was going through. And also I was trying to be all fancy and have certain little tabs for certain things. When it goes to the new year, I'm just going to stick a tab wherever I want and hope for the best. But yeah, this book is so good. It's very much out of my normal genre. I don't normally read books like this. I'm a hardcore romance girl, but as of this year, I've been trying to read more books that are a bit out of my comfort zone, so I've read a bit more fantasy, and this one, I think you would describe this as a gothic, paranormal type thriller thing. I'm not really sure I'm really bad at saying genres of books, I'm not gonna lie, but honestly, this one was just so good. It follows the 3 Hollow sisters, and one of them goes missing, and basically it's the 2 younger sisters trying to figure out what's happened to her. But that's no spoilers, that's literally on the back of the book. But yeah, no, I loved this book, and I'm rereading it in the new year. I'm probably gonna a lot of these books because I genuinely enjoyed them so much. But yeah, no, I love this book so much, and it's so good, and I'm mad at myself that I started it in June of 2022. I didn't finish it until July of this year. So, you know, it took me over a year to read this damn book. So, you know, which I think I started it last June and finished it this June. Either way, it took me a year to read the book, and I want to reread it because it's literally such a short book. I don't know why it took me so long. So book number 14 on this list is Bonecryer's Dawn by Catherine Purdy. This is the sequel to Bonecryer's Moon, which I read back in 2021. I originally picked this up because it was part of a book club that I was part of, and I was meant to read it for that, but then I never did. I never picked it up until this year. And honestly, I really, really enjoyed this book. It's actually not a 5-star, which I think most of the books on this list are a 5-star, but this one I gave it a 4.5, and that is because I felt like it was a little too long. I feel like it could have been cut down by 100 pages. That's just my personal opinion. I felt like some of the things that they did was quite repetitive, and they kept repeating the same things. But, you know, I did genuinely really enjoy this book. It's really good. I felt it wrapped up the duology very, very well. And I genuinely I just love it. I love the characters, and the fact that it has 2 strong female leads in the book just makes me so happy. And also Bastian, book boyfriend. He's a good guy. Book boyfriend. So the next 2 books are both audiobooks that I got off as ARCs off of NetGalley. The first one is Ghosted. I think this is by Sarah Reddy. I can't really remember. But this book, when I tell you, I fell in love with it. I listened to the audiobook of this because I got an audiobook arc of it, and it was just so funny and it was cute, and it's basically just like a little bit of a paranormal twist on your like normal everyday romance. And when like I read the title Ghosted, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, she gets ghosted by this guy. No, that's not what it means. It's really not what it means. But this is definitely a book I think people should pick up. I want to get the physical copy, so like I said again, I can reread it. I can't remember if I gave this 5 stars or not. I feel like I should have, because I really liked it, but I might have given it a lower rating. I can't honestly remember, if I'm being completely honest. I'll insert what I rated it on my screen. But yeah, no, I genuinely really loved this book, and honestly, like I said, it's another reread. Honestly, a lot of these books are going to be rereads. Either if they're not next year, then it's going to be the year after, because I just enjoyed them all so much and I can't stop thinking about them. So the next one is another audiobook arc that I got off NetGalley. This was It All Comes Back to You by Melissa Weisner. I think I rated this 4.5 stars. I will, like I said, with the last one, I'll just put the rating here. But this book, it wasn't like, I didn't expect it to be how it was, but it gave us details of what happened to them. Like it kept like, it started off like in the future where they are now, the characters, and then it did like, it jumped back to the past where they first met, and it ran through their whole story of how they met and how their relationship progressed. And honestly, it was just so cute. But I want a sequel to this book because I did not get enough of the romance I wanted, because they didn't get together until the very end. And I'm just kind of like, give me more. Give me more of this couple. I want more of this couple, but I didn't get it. No, I didn't get it. I only got like the last few chapters of them. And I need more. I need more of them. I need more of these characters because I genuinely really enjoyed them, but I think it's just going to be a standalone, and that makes me very sad. Okay, so the next couple of books are the last 2 that are just like in my top books of this year, and then the remaining 5 are my top 5 reads of 2023. So that is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover and I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jennette McCurdy. So start off with this one. This book, I genuinely loved it. I know this book gets a lot of hate on like TikTok and everything, and like everyone said it wasn't needed, it was an unneeded sequel to It Ends With Us. But I needed it because I love Lily and Atlas and I wanted their story, and I just loved seeing Lily's character develop a bit more and her basically like moving forward with her life after everything that happened with Ryle, and like her having her daughter and everything, and her getting with Atlas and then Atlas's story. Honestly, I genuinely really enjoyed this book, and when I saw all the negative reviews I was like, oh god, it's gonna be so bad. I think I read this in like 2 days. And if you know me and my reading speed, that is very impressive, because sometimes it can take, like I said, take me a year to finish one book. But yeah, no, I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. I want to reread it at some point, and I want to reread It Ends With Us as well, because I have both hardback editions of both of them, because I have the special edition of It Ends With Us, and obviously I have this one. But yeah, I pre-ordered this before when it was coming out because I wanted it so badly, and yeah, it's a good book. And then the other one was, this is my first non-fiction book that I've ever read. This is Jennette McCurdy's memoir, I'm Glad My Mum Died. And honestly, reading this book, it broke my heart. I would recommend looking up trigger warnings for this book before you like pick it up, because it does have a lot of heavy topics in it. I knew it had some of these topics in it when I did buy it, but I didn't realise how in detail it would go. And it's a really good book, and I genuinely really enjoyed it. And honestly, it makes rewatching my old favourite shows a bit harder now, because I used to love watching iCarly and Sam and Cat, and now when I rewatch them, I can't help but think of the experiences that Jeanette went through as she was filming these shows, because of everything like her mum put her through. And honestly, it's just a heartbreaking book. I would say people should go out and read it, but like I said, just check your trigger warnings beforehand, because even if it is to learn about one of your favourite actresses, like past and stuff, if it's going to trigger you, don't put yourself through that. So the last 5 books are my top 5 books of the year. So the next two I'm going to show you are just in my top 5 because they're such great books and I genuinely really love them. The other 3 are the ones that are battling it out for my favourite book of the year. So now we're going to start with the book that I thought was going to be my favourite book of the year until these ones knocked it out of the park. So that was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I loved this book. You have no idea how much I loved it. I loved the characters. I actually have the second one on my TBR cart on the other side of my room. And I love the characters. I loved the main girl. Violet is just... she's so powerful, yet she doesn't brag about it. And like, everyone I've seen like talk about it and everything, just like, I've seen some bad reviews of this book and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I just personally believe that this book was an incredible read and I genuinely loved it more than words can describe. I've never read a fantasy book like this. If I'm being honest, I think I read it in like 4 days, which considering how big it is, wow. But yeah, honestly, I loved the characters, I loved the dragons, I loved the banter of the dragons. I need more of that. I need more dragon banter. And I'm hoping the second book doesn't let me down, but I've heard some bad things about the second book, so who knows? Maybe the second book will let me down, but yeah. I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars instantly because I loved it that much. And honestly, the thing that let me down this book was Dane. That man is a prick and I hate him. I never want to see Dane again. He can bugger off. So the next one, before I go into my top 3, is Daughter of the Siren Queen by Tricia Levensaler. I read Daughter of the Pirate King back in 2021, I think it was, or it was either that or 2022. And when I tell you, this book is absolutely incredible. The power that the leading lady of this book has, Alosa, I think that's how you say her name. I'm probably saying it wrong. I can't pronounce names. She is just a queen. She is a queen. She is the queen. And frankly, there's another book in this series that I think it doesn't have Alosa and Raiden in, but I think it's something to do with like the younger generation coming off of them, and I want to read it. I need to buy it because I loved this damn book. I gave it 5 stars instantly, and I'm so sad it took me so long to read this book after I read the first one, because why? These books are that good. I even got my mum to read them, and she doesn't read books like this. She's more of a thriller person. She loves thriller books. But yeah, she loved this book as much as I did, and frankly, I have no words to describe how much I love it, and I just want more of it. So for the final 3 books of this video, 2 of them I have physical copies here, and the other one is on my Kindle, so I will just insert a cover of it. These are the 3 books that completely knocked Fourth Wing out of the park and are battling it out for my top book of the year. I'm not going to give full reviews in this video of these books because I have filmed another video for these, and that is going up in the new year. But oh my god, so first one is 1% of You by Michelle Gross. I devoured this book. I read it in one sitting. I started at like 6:30 in the evening and I finished it at 2 in the morning. I did not put this book down apart from once when I went to go and get my dinner. That is how much I enjoyed this book. I read it originally on my Kindle, and then this one was really kindly gifted to me by the lovely Em on TikTok. And honestly, this book is so good. I already want to reread it. And I didn't even read it that long ago. I think I read it like a week ago. But I read it in one sitting. That is how much I loved this book. And I want more of these characters. But yeah, the full review on this will be on my video. And then the next one is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. This is one that Geordie goes on about constantly. If you don't know Geordie, she goes by Buckley Geordie on TikTok. I'll insert her profile here. She constantly goes out on about this book, and I understand why. I understand the hype. I'm not going to ramble on because, like I said, there's a full like breakdown of how I feel about it in my other video. But yeah, this one is battling it out with 1% of You and the next book I'm about to mention. So the final book on this list is Secrets of the Dead by Laura Carter. First of all, Laura is an amazing human being and you should all go and buy her book. This is her debut novel, and frankly, it is one of the best books I have ever read. Like I said, I'm not really a fantasy girl. I more read romance, but this is a romantasy, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give off my full reactions in this video because they're all in my other one, but this book is battling it out with those two, and frankly, at this point I'm thinking this book's gonna win because I have not stopped thinking about it since I put it down, and the sequel does not come out until the next summer. So, you know, I'm going to be sitting here dying waiting for that book to come out because, frankly, right now, all I can think about is the characters from Secrets of the Dead. So, yeah, go buy Laura's book. It's going to be, the Amazon link and her website is going to be linked in the description because you need to buy it because it's just great. But that's it for everyone. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video, and if you want more videos kind of like this, like I can do like monthly reading wrap-ups and stuff. I kind of already do that anyway, but yeah, it's fine. But yeah, no, I hope you enjoyed this video, and just let me know what you think. All of my links for like my TikTok and my Instagram are down in the description below. I post on them more frequently than I do my YouTube, and also I will be linking down the TikTokers who I mentioned in this video in the description below, and I will also be linking Laura's book and her website, just because you need to support indie authors, and she's an incredible one, and I love her and I love her books. So, you know, yeah, go buy.